Today, at 15:45 hours, India conducted 2 underground nuclear tests in the Pokhran I.
Just last week, India conducted a series of nuclear explosive tests.
Pakistan, China, the United States of America, and several other countries sharply reacted to the Indian nuclear tests.
A widespread atomic power industry in the world will necessitate an international society in which the major states have agreed to maintain peace.
तो तलवार की नोक पर या एटम बॉम्ब के डर से कोई हमारे देश को झुकाना चाहे, दबाना चाहे, ये देश हमारा दबने वाला नहीं।
In May of 1998, the Pokhran II nuclear test marked a turning point for India, establishing its prominence as a significant nuclear power. This landmark event not only defined India's contemporary nuclear capabilities, but also triggered a notable shift in the global dynamics within the intricate realm of nuclear politics. The roots of India's nuclear journey can be traced back more than 24 years to May 18, 1974, when India conducted its first nuclear test. The significance of this undertaking raises thought-provoking questions. Why did India think it was necessary to obtain nuclear weapons, to obtain nuclear power? How did India keep the world clueless about the top-secret mission of Pokhran?
Homi J. Bhabha was the man that had started it all. He was known as the father of India's nuclear program. It began in 1939, just as World War II was beginning. Bhabha came back to India from Cambridge, where he was pursuing research. Jawaharlal Nehru, India's first Prime Minister, was not persuaded by Bhabha's proposal to initiate nuclear research in India. Nehru preferred a peaceful approach and refused to associate himself with nuclear power. Nevertheless, he gave in 1954, leading to the creation of the Department of Atomic Energy. Director Homi J. Bhabha, assigned to explore civilian uses of nuclear energy, secretly wanted to build a bomb. Nehru, unsure in discussing arms control at the United Nations, avoided openly pursuing a bomb due to diplomatic concerns and uncertainty.
After attacking India in 1962, China conducted its first nuclear test 1 year later. Alarms are going off in Delhi. India now had two opposing countries surrounding it, one of which was a nuclear power.
When these guys conducted this particular test, they were between devil and deep sea. Considering the way India is poised as a geography, it kind of has a issue. It has got two hostile neighbors on either side. So one is Pakistan, another one is China. And then the other big powers in the world, like US, was kind of favoring Pakistan. So they were in a way facilitating their nuclear program as well. So it was increasingly becoming a threat for India to survive without a nuclear armament program.
Lal Bahadur Shastri, the PM after the Sino-Indian War, needed to make a call. He started by pleading with nuclear powers to ensure India's security, but they failed to respond. A nuclear response was the only option left, but there was just one small issue. Things were going to change. The Non-Proliferation Treaty, which established a deadline for nuclear powers, was signed in 1968. The Soviet Union, the United States, the United Kingdom, France, and China created the Non-Proliferation Treaty. This treaty said that NPT members will stop the production of nuclear technology, and no one other than the 5 nuclear powers can obtain nuclear weapons. And here India decided that they will make their own atomic bomb, even after the first time India wanted to make itself a nuclear acclaimed state failed.
It was May 18, 1974, and the scene was Pokhran in the Thar Desert. The bomb, known as the Smiling Buddha, was comparable to the nuclear bomb Fat Man, America's bomb dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. A group of 75 classified engineers from the Indian government were involved in this project. Rumors said that not even the Minister of Defense knew of the work in Pokhran, inferring the level of secrecy present. Parts of the bomb came from different places: the implosion system from Chandigarh, the detonation system from Pune, and the plutonium from the Sears reactor in Trombay. Everything was put together in Trombay and transported to Pokhran. The test generated great results. Peaceful nuclear explosion, as India put it, with minimal military implications. However, the rest of the globe did not agree. The United States and Canada led the West, imposing severe sanctions. However, the message was received. India would not be taken lightly.
India needed to move quickly. Prime Minister Narasimha Rao, India's 12th PM, gave his approval for one more test in 1995. Everything was ready. The venue was back in Pokhran, but there was one issue. America had caught India. Their surveillance satellites captured traces of work in Pokhran. President Bill Clinton was concerned about an arms race between Pakistan and India over nuclear weapons. He started by sending the US ambassador on a mission to show Indian officials satellite images of Pokhran. He then had a phone conversation with PM Rao. In any case, the match was over. India had made the decision to scrap the plan.
However, in 1998, while running for Prime Minister, Atal Bihari Vajpayee's party passionately advocated for India's nuclear empowerment in their campaign.
Out of pressure, geopolitical pressure. But he took a decision. India will go ahead with the test.
Thus, a complicated initiative was developed. Code names were developed because the CIA was listening in on conversations. The names of the detonation shafts were Taj Mahal, White House, Whiskey, and so forth. The scientists arrived disguised as well, hidden in army uniforms. Among them was APJ Abdul Kalam, who rose to become Major General Prithvi Raj. Only the Prime Minister and his reliable allies were aware of this within the government. Engineers operated on-site during the limited window when satellites didn't have a view over Pokhran. Just before satellite visibility resumed, the equipment used to construct the test range would be stowed away, eliminating any traces. All of their tracks were hidden from the satellites to conceal any suspicion from the US and Pakistan. On May 11th of 1998, an Indian Air Force plane was sent to Jaisalmer, carrying bombs, which would be transported from the plane to Pokhran using 4 trucks. That way, there would be less suspicion of the bombs on board. On the day of the testing, there was too much wind for the test to be conducted, as the radiation from the bombs could be sent to Pakistan. At 3:45 p.m., when the wind settled, the 3 nuclear tests were successfully conducted. May 11th was the D-Day. On that day, 3 bombs were tested. 2 more were tested on the 13th. These were all fission bombs, with the exception of 1 fusion bomb. There are 2 distinct processes, fission and fusion. 2 or more atoms combine in fusion, but they split or divide in fission. Nuclear bombs are extremely deadly because both of these processes exert a lot of energy.
Following the test, a message was sent from Pokhran to New Delhi stating, "White House has collapsed." Bill Clinton was furious back in Washington. "We are going to come down on those guys like a ton of bricks," he reportedly said. India, however, was prepared for it, as it was essentially a replay of 1974. With this, America imposed sanctions on India. America also tried to prosecute India for violating the Comprehensive Nuclear Test Ban Treaty, the NPT, and the Nuclear Suppliers Group, although it was not easy for America to prove India guilty. The CTBT banned nuclear testing in the atmosphere, space, and in the ocean, but India conducted their testing underground. And India had never signed the NPT, meaning that they could not be criminalized for violating it. In addition, all materials used for the nuclear testing were India's, which meant that they couldn't be prosecuted for importing nuclear supplies. As a result, India's nuclear program expanded even after the death of its principal proponent, Homi J. Bhabha, but the bomb was already prepared for use. All that was needed to be done was to let it deploy. In 1971, any doubt that might have existed disappeared. India did not pursue nuclear weapons out of a desire for dominance or to join a select group. It was about maintaining India's security in the face of 2 adversarial neighbors and about self-defense.
The Pokhran II nuclear tests reshaped India's global stance, leading to diplomatic efforts like the 2008 India-US Civil Nuclear Agreement. Beyond bilateral impacts, these tests emphasized India's commitment to autonomy, leaving a lasting mark on global nuclear discussions. Pokhran II is a pivotal chapter in India's narrative, blending resilience, autonomy, and strategic pursuits, a turning point in the intricate landscape of geopolitics.